Okay, so before I upload this, for this KKK hate website and their following, right? Which probably connects itself to that satanic group in the United States of America that want to bring in after school programs into public schools. Easy for people to sit up there and talk their bullcrap behind fake usernames and masks, right? That's kind of like what the devil does anyway, right? Very deceiving, eh? The thing is, I can't move from this place. It's impossible because I have no money. It cost me, when I moved in, it costed me, people, $2,000 plus just to move in. That was just moving costs. Between the gas, paying for the trucks, and whatnot. Right? My credit card moved Joan Duncan into this house. Not Joan, me. And then, of course, I looked after Joan while she was here. Even after death, I had to take care of her physical belongings. Not her money, but the Duncan clan just abandoned everything. All her clothes, her Virgin Marys, just the whole nine yards. They just abandoned pictures, everything. Right? So I had to deal with that. And, of course, I looked after Uncle John in my home for over 23 years, on top of when he used to come to my house every day to visit and do whatever he would do, dishes and, right? In those days, he had a car, so I'd drive the car, right? And he'd visit almost every day because he had nothing else to do, right? So he'd help me with the kids and I'd cook for him and he'd tell me his troubles and I'd try and give him advice. Eventually it got to the point where he just moved in, right? And I looked after him all those years. Went into debt to provide him with a home that he could navigate in, right? So now I'm sitting here, fast forward all these years later, and like I am not in a position to move. I cannot afford to move. I don't have the money to move, and even if I was to move, I don't have enough money to pay the rent and the hydros and all those other things on time in terms of the first of the month, because I was set up to fail. Kind of standard with your government legislation and, poverty pimping and all this other stuff that those that have like to put on those that don't, right? So for all what this water crap and the porch and I can't, I downstairs, I can't move away from that, people. It's impossible. I couldn't afford to pay rent somewhere else. Even if my rent was to go lower, I still couldn't meet the bills and the rent because there's just not enough money, because I was left with the debt load. I was left with the debt load. I was left with Joan's debt load for the time that she was living over here, and I was left with the debt load that Uncle John accrued over a period of over 23 years. Because it wasn't just his credit card in terms of that's just his debt. Everything else he had nothing to do with. He had everything to do with being in this house. If it wasn't for him and his wife, I wouldn't be here, people. Like I said, Uncle John and I, we moved into this house because of Auntie Joan. And because the Duncan clan wanted not only Joan's money and abandoned everything, they wanted John's money. And they took him to take his money, and then they abandoned everything. And that's basically where I'm at. I'm abandoned in a bad situation that I have absolutely no way to get out of. Right? And I have to work around this dysfunction. This, I feel like I'm being purposely sabotaged because it doesn't get fixed. It's never gotten fixed. And some of this stuff is pretty simple stuff to fix. It's just I don't have the skills or the resources to do it. And neither do my kids. So as things get ruined, of course, I'm not going to throw everything out. I'm going to pile it up, thinking I can wash it for the 50th time while living in this house, which I've already started to do, and just packing them up in the little outside shed in bags and covering up the bags, miscellaneous toys and that kind of stuff that have been filthy because of this backyard and the water problems and the mud and all this other crap. You know, waiting for a day when I can have a little yard sale with Andre, and then what doesn't sell, we'll just give away. Because I've already given away boxes full of toys to the social service office where they have, you know, children go and families, to non-profit organizations that deal with children. I've already given away boxes full. And I'm gathering up and washing because this is what's happening. It's on the porch. It's getting ruined. Right? And I just feel like it's being done on purpose. You know, I just like Uncle John was taken on purpose. Just like when Andre on purpose. Just to harm and maim and to oppress and disenfranchise, to beat up. Right? So, you know, the only thing that makes me feel good about this house, really, even though it was a lot of hard work, Andre, please, even though it was a lot of hard work, was the fact that I can now, after 7 years of being here, grow food. Right? Because I haven't been to the grocery store, people, in about 4 or 5 months. Literally. I don't buy cheese. I don't buy yogurt. I don't buy fresh vegetables. I don't buy fresh fruit unless it's in my yard. Unless I already have it in my freezer. In terms of, I've got blueberries. Not from this year because my car is obviously off the road. Right? Because you can't have anything in Canada. They want you dirt poor. Right? The faster they can put you in the freaking dirt, the faster these people that do this kind of stuff are happier. Right? But I have a box of blueberries, not from this last summer, but from last summer before. So, you know, right? And I have like some other stuff in my freezer and stuff like that. But, you know what I mean? Like, who can be proud of themselves? Like, how can the Duncan clan be proud of themselves to, seriously, to starve out? Because if they're starving this family out, people, you know that they instigate and they have their hand in starving out other people. They're connected to the Catholic Church. Catholic Church has a long history of starving out freaking people they don't like. Right? That's how they got control. That's why they've got billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars through the Catholic Church now, is because they starved out people in order to hoard that billions of billions of billions of dollars for themselves, and then put themselves out there as if they're the epitome of what is right in our society. And they use people to look after their sick. Until the sick is ready to die so that they can come in and take their money. Because that's the only thing that they want, is the money. That's why the Catholic Church has billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. Well, everybody around them that's poor is basically starving. And can't go nowhere in life. And can't do nothing in life. So, don't sit up there and say, well, you need to move. Because the Duncan clan took care of that one. If Uncle John was home, and he needed a new environment in order to be able to have a wheelchair and that kind of thing. Uncle John and I were already talking about our alternatives with the possibility of moving. But Duncan Clan took care of that one. They made sure I can't go anywhere, do anything, except slowly but surely wither away. Right? Because they gotta hoard those billions and billions and billions of dollars with their Jesus Christ. Okay, so it's still September 15th, 2016. There's that paint, people. So what I'm going to do right now, or dye, whatever you want, I'm going to bring it to a boil again. It's been sitting underneath there for a couple of days, but if you notice, it hasn't molded, right? So, you know, I'm just waiting for the soft kill to kick in, right? Since that's the kind of society we seem to live in these days, right? You know, I know I'm not the only, I know I'm not the only one, right?
That the paint?
Okay, this is like September 16th, 2015. I don't know how to fix that kind of stuff, people. Like, seriously, I just don't know how to fix it. Like, I don't know how to fix it.
Uh-oh.
Right? It's impossible. I am not a carpenter. Okay? This is where life gets hard. Oops, there goes the camera. This is where life gets hard. Right? This is where everything starts to get wet and ruined.
Oh, God, put over there.
Yeah.
Like a pot.
I need to check this little room. I don't want the camera to get wet. You can see it's flooding down there. I don't know what's happening down here. They snaked out this hole, but I don't think it's going to last very long. I don't think it's going to... I think when a big rain comes and it starts raining for a day or two, I think I'm going to have the same problem. I do. Well, yeah, I know it's... Oh, look at this, people. Can you see this? Hold on. Where is it?
Right there. See water coming down?
Can you see that, people? Again, I don't know how to fix it. This is where everything just starts to get ruined. Right?
Yeah, and the water will, the basement will flood.
Okay, I just don't know how to fix this.
That
So
will
far, the
never
drain
be good.
seems to be working. So far, there's a big brick, kind of whatever, right? But anyway. Oh.
What way?
So obviously the camera keeps kicking out. So it's still leaking up in this seam here. Now it's gone into the seam itself. Right, you can see that. Oh, sorry, where am I? Another one up here.
Water.
Right, you can see that. Right. I mean, it's a little better over there now. Still leaking a little bit over here. You can
And
see.
here.
Well, yeah, the water just keeps backdrafting in. It's been like that ever since I moved in, right, people? I mean, like, I'm trying to... You can see that's all wet.
Even that staple gun.
Yeah, it's the glue gun. It's all wet. Like, it doesn't matter, you know, like...
Let me see, this one's okay.
I try and stay positive, people. I really, really do. I really, really do try to stay positive.
Nothing's getting wet here.
You know, it's just getting worse every year.
No.
That's all. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how hard I try,
Nothing's not getting wet
how many
here.
hours I put in. You know, it's been like this ever since I moved in. You know, it just...
Oh.
It's because nobody helps. Nobody cares, right? Just nobody fucking cares. That's the problem. You know, it's just, I don't know. They beat you up for being poor, and then when you try and, you know, break away from whatever it is whatever, and, you know, and just, they still beat you up, you know, they still call you down and run you down and make it hard for you and just
Whoa.
whatever. It's like life is just, Life, I don't know what's wrong with life. People are just something wrong with people. I don't know. And they want to bring more people into the country to make it even harder, right? To make it even harder, right? The way people are, I wouldn't be surprised there's some fucking factory that's not manufacturing fucking hamburgers out of human beings. Like, seriously. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to keep this short because obviously I'm depressed now, right? Doesn't take much to depress me when it comes to the porch and the garage and that kind of stuff, right? Like, seriously. So, this is what Andre and I are doing today. These 2 bowls we're going to count. And we're starting a counting book. And then we're going to open up these today. These ones. Right? I still have 8 more smaller trays in the bathroom that I have to go through. These ones, these ones here were on the other rack. So they just need to be heated up for a few moments because they're quite cold. Right? So that means they still might be damp inside. Whereas these ones, they're okay. They just haven't quite opened up yet. The reason you want to start cracking them open and taking your nut out is because that's enough for a moth to get in there, or those little fruit flies or whatever, right? So you don't want the good nut inside to get ruined because, you know, you're waiting for Christmas or whatever. You know, in this case, I'm just putting these things in cookies and cake and whatnot, right? So I'm going to be cracking them open and then I'm going to freeze them. But I'm just going to upload this now because with this rain coming, like, seriously, people, you know, it's just, I don't know what to say. You know, it's just too much negative energy out in the community. Like, that's just so uncalled for, right? Like, you know, it's not just the garage, it's the porch, and it's the, you know, it's just the whole fucking 9 yards, right? Like, I just don't get people. Like, I just don't get people. I don't know what is wrong with people.